Turn your dreams into reality. Turn your dreams into reality. See.
Everybody, I'm going to do a when I was pregnant type, questions, I guess. There was people on Snapchat asking me to see my pictures when I was pregnant. She's telling me this. But there was people on Snapchat asking to see my pictures when I was pregnant. So I'm going to put those at the end of this video. There's only like 11 or 10 questions, I think. But I'm going to answer those and you can see my pregnancy pictures after. How did you find out you were pregnant? Honestly, I didn't take a pregnancy test. I didn't get my period, of course. So when I didn't get that, I figured something was up. But I didn't. I was 18, and Braxton was 17. So I didn't want to tell anybody or even think about it. So I didn't think about it. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't take a test. And then a little bit after that, my stomach just started getting bigger. And then my mom was just like, why is your stomach getting bigger? And me and Braxton went to the doctor and bam. Were you scared? Yes, both of us were because, we were so young. And when we left the doctor, I was bawling the whole way home. And then I guess me crying made him cry. So it was like, I don't know, it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I was scared at first anyways. But then when I got like deeper into my pregnancy, I wasn't like as scared or whatever. But did you pee a lot? I didn't pee a lot at the beginning, but when I was about 7 months pregnant, that's when it really started hitting, and I would wake up like every hour to go pee. So when I was like, about 7 months, I was peeing like every hour throughout the night, and then during the day I could drink like a sip of something and then have to pee. So yeah. What were your cravings? Ice, bananas and peanut butter, and Chick-fil-A. Bryce took me to Chick-fil-A like every single day, literally. And then if we went out to eat somewhere, I would get chicken because I was like craving chicken. I don't know, it was weird. But chicken is my favorite food, and it still is to this day. So like, it's crazy. Where was most of your pain during pregnancy? My ribs, like on my side, because Braylon's foot was like stuck in my rib. She wouldn't move it. When I went to the doctor and I told them, I was like, this is where it hurts. This is the only spot that it hurts. Like, I can barely sleep at night. I had to go get a pregnancy pillow, guys. It wasn't like a pregnancy pillow, but I used it like it was a big, long, furry, it was like a circle, but it was pretty long. It was pretty long. But I slept with that, I put that in the spot that my side was hurting at, and it made it a little better, but I was still in a lot of pain. And my back would hurt sometimes, but not as much as my side. But when they did like the x-ray type whatever, they seen that where her foot was, and that's why it was hurting so bad. So how long were you in labor for? 7.5 hours. Did you get an epidural? Yes, I did. I'll get into that after in the next question. But that was the worst pain like I've ever felt in my entire life. And a lot of people say, well, you love tattoos, you love tattoos. Yes, I love tattoos, but an epidural needle is nothing compared to a tattoo needle, like, at all. Was your child's father by your side the whole time? Of course he would, like, the whole time during labor. Now, when I had Braylon and, they keep you in the hospital for 2 to 3 days after you have the baby. But, after I had her, Of course, he would like walk out of the room or go get something to eat or something like that, but he was there the whole time. Did having your baby hurt? Scale 1 to 10. Okay, this goes back to the epidural part. Having her, on a scale from 1 to 10, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm honest to God telling the truth. It was a 1 because the epidural had me so weak and like I couldn't feel nothing. I could not feel nothing. The only thing that hurt was the IVs in my hand because they popped so many. Like they tried to do it right here in my arm on both sides, but my vein like kept popping, so they moved to my hand. And then I know on this hand my vein kept popping over here too. And every time I would bump it, like, because they finally got the needle. I mean, they finally got a good vein like over here somewhere. But when she popped the vein right here in my hand, every time I would bump it, it would bruise up really bad and it hurt so bad. But the only thing that hurt was the epidural and the IVs, because like having her, the only thing I felt was like pressure. I wasn't like, it didn't hurt at all. And the reason why I got the epidural, like I was laying there and I think it was about, I want to say it was like 11:30, 12 maybe. She said that I was actually having a contraction, and me and Braxton was in the middle of a conversation when she walked in and seen on the little screen that I was having a contraction. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't feel nothing. And she was like, well, you can get the epidural if you want, but it's up to you. And I mean, I got it because I didn't want it to hurt when I started pushing. But having contractions, I did not feel not one contraction, y'all. Like, it was crazy. She was like, I don't see how you're talking when you're having a contraction. I was like, I don't feel anything. And I hadn't got the epidural yet. Like, she said, my doctor and my nurse, well, I had plenty of nurses, but they told me that my pregnancy was the easiest they've ever seen. Like, pain-wise, because I wasn't crying. The only time I cried, okay, when I started pushing, the doctor asked me if I wanted to watch myself push or whatever. And I was like, yeah. And so she put a mirror like in front of me. And when I was pushing, whatever, as soon as I seen Braylon's head, that's when I started crying. Because, I mean, if you've had a baby before, you know the feeling of when you first see your baby. And I started crying when I seen her head because I was like, oh my gosh, like, and then she was like, you know, and I had stopped pushing when I started crying. She was like, no, she's right there. You gotta keep going, And, like, it was, the pushing part is hard because, I mean, if you've had a baby, you know what it is, but it's not easy to push a baby out, especially when you cannot feel anything. Like, the only thing I felt was, like, pressure. It felt like somebody was pushing up against me, but I couldn't feel no pain, nothing. Like, it was crazy. And that's what I'm scared of. Like, if I ever have a baby again, I'm scared it's not gonna go as smooth and easy as Braylon did. And I'm just really, really scared about that. But the next question is, did your baby have hair? That goes back to the whole mirror thing. Braylon had a ton of hair, y'all. Like, when I seen her head, the only thing I seen was black hair. Like, it was crazy. But then when you have a baby, like a newborn, and their hair falls out and then it regrows, that was Bray. She had a head full of hair when she came out, and then like throughout her first weeks, her hair was falling out, and then it finally grew back all weird looking. But yeah, she did have a head full of hair. Jeez. How much did your baby weigh? 6 pounds, 13 ounces, and it don't ask about this, but she was 22 inches long. She was kind of tiny, but she was big at the same time, I guess you could say. What time did your baby enter the world? 2:10 p.m. How much weight did you gain during your pregnancy? About 24 to 25 pounds. They were telling me that when I was 9 months pregnant, I looked 6 months pregnant. So I was tiny, and the doctors told me, like, from the back, if you looked at me from the back, you couldn't even tell I was pregnant until I turned around. But I was tiny. But Braylon was very healthy. There was nothing wrong with her. She passed all her tests because when you have a baby, they do tests on the baby, like hearing, I forgot what else, but she passed everything. She was very healthy. She was good. I got to leave I think I stayed for 2 nights, and I left the 3rd day. But it was pretty easy. The easiest thing I did not think it was going to be that easy. I was so nervous that morning when we went to the hospital, y'all. Like, I was shaking. The doctors had to tell me to calm down. Like, I was scared because I was young. I mean, I was 19 by the time I had her, but, like, I was scared. When I got pregnant, I was 18. But when I had her, I had already turned 19. But it was scary. But then when I finally got in there and did it, like, it was the easiest thing. Like, the only thing was I couldn't feel anything. Like, I was getting irritated because I couldn't move, because I couldn't feel my legs to move them. Like, it was crazy. But I'm going to go ahead and end this and say, hey. Hi. You telling me to shh? I'm going to go ahead and end this, and my pregnancy pictures are right here coming up. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Hey, stop telling them to shh. Say like,
Dad,
comment,
Dad,
and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And here's my pregnancy pictures. Bye.
LilNeilWorksMagic.